Hey guys, today we are going to talk about our freshwater zones. You just finished looking at some notes about each of these zones, so now I want to put it on our diagram like we did with the marine zones. Obviously the diagram here, this one's a little bit more complicated than the marine ones we looked at. Feel free to do bare bones, you don't have to include the clouds and stuff like that, but I do want to label each of the systems so we know what we're looking at. So let's get started here. So when we look at our zones, we have a few that we're going to talk about. So let's start with the littoral zone. So the littoral zone is our top layer near the shore. It's our shallow sunlit waters, and this is where plants generally can grow. We have a lot of biodiversity in this area, so most of our life is found here. So turtles, frogs, crayfish, a lot of fish, bass, perch, carp, that kind of thing. So let's label this on our sheet. So right here we have the littoral zone. In this space. So lots of things found here. Snails, insects, fish, plants, frogs, turtles, etc. So the things we want to talk about here, we have a lot of high life, which means we have high NPP. Or high net primary productivity, meaning we have a lot of photosynthesis happening. We also have high DO, or dissolved oxygen. If we have a lot of photosynthesis, we're going to have a lot of oxygen being pumped into our water, so it can support a lot of life. The second zone we're going to look at is the Lymnetic Zone, which is over here. So this is kind of our open water. Our sunlit surface layer, it's away from the shore, and the limnetic layer extends to the part that the sunlight can actually reach. So here we have a lot of phytoplankton and zooplankton. And here is generally where we have our larger fish that need more space. So again, we still have that high NPP from our plankton. And again, high DO. For doing photosynthesis, we're putting a lot of oxygen into the water. We also have a benthic zone. So our benthic zone is going to be, again, along the bottom. So think about benthos from that marine vocab we talked about. Benthic zone is the lake floor, or the freshwater floor. And here we have a lot of bacteria, we have fungi, clams, and catfish are bottom dwellers, so some catfish. So this is all of our decomposers. We have a lot of nutrients down here. And yeah, that's our benthic zone. The last zone I want to talk about is the profundal zone. So I don't really love how this arrow is drawn on our profundal zone, so I kind of want you to ignore that. The profundal zone is more this lightened area here. Okay. Profundal zone is down here. We are going to have very low oxygen because there's not a lot of photosynthesis that can happen in the profundal zone. We have very low light. And we know that without oxygen, we can't have a lot of light. So a couple of other things I want to talk about with freshwater, which you are going to get to in your notes. Our big human impact here that we are going to talk about with freshwater is cultural eutrophication. This is a big buzzword. I'll say it again. It's eutrophication. You're going to learn about it later in our notes today, but this is something you will definitely need to know, not only for our exams, but also the AP exam. They really like eutrophication on the exam.